Just think positive. Look on the bright side. We have been fed this sugary advice since kindergarten. We are told that if we visualize success, the universe will manifest it. But let me ask you a question. If positive thinking is the key, why is anxiety at an all-time high? Why are the people posting #blessed on Instagram usually the most depressed? The truth is, blind optimism is not a strategy. It is a trap. It leaves you defenseless against reality. Today, we are going to explore the dark side. We are going to learn why the most resilient people on Earth are not the optimists, but the pessimists. Optimism often feels good, like eating candy. But you can't live on candy. When you force yourself to be positive, you ignore red flags. You ignore the weird noise your car is making because you hope it will go away. You ignore the cracks in your relationship because you believe love conquers all. This is the ostrich syndrome. Burying your head in the sand doesn't stop the lion from eating you. It just leaves your butt exposed. Pessimism forces you to look at the threat, and looking is the first step to surviving. There is a specific term for forcing happiness when you are suffering: toxic positivity. It invalidates your pain. It tells you that your negative emotions are a failure. When you deny your anger, fear, or sadness, they don't disappear, they rot. They turn into resentment and chronic stress. Real mental health isn't about being happy all the time. It is about feeling the appropriate emotion for the situation. If your life is on fire, you shouldn't be smiling. You should be grabbing a bucket. Let's clarify something. I am not telling you to be depressed. I am introducing you to defensive pessimism. Psychologists use this term for people who manage anxiety by imagining the worst-case scenario. By visualizing exactly what could go wrong, they prepare for it. The optimist expects the presentation to go perfectly. If the projector breaks, they panic. The defensive pessimist assumes the projector will break. They bring a handout. They bring a backup. When disaster strikes, the optimist is traumatized. The pessimist is ready. This isn't a new idea. The Stoics practiced it 2,000 years ago. They called it premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Every morning, Marcus Aurelius would tell himself, "Today I will meet ungrateful, violent, treacherous, envious, and uncharitable people." He didn't say this to ruin his day. He said it so that when he met those people, he wouldn't be surprised. He armored his mind before stepping onto the battlefield of life. Optimism is walking into battle naked. Pessimism is putting on your armor. Admiral James Stockdale was a prisoner of war in Vietnam for 7 years, tortured, isolated. When asked who didn't make it out alive, he said, "The optimists." Wait, what? He explained, they were the ones who said, "We're going to be out by Christmas," and Christmas would come and go. Then they'd say, "We're going to be out by Easter," and Easter would come and go. And then they died of a broken heart. Stockdale survived by confronting the brutal facts of his reality, while never losing faith that he would prevail in the end. This is the balance. Hope for the best, but fully accept the worst. Here is the mathematical formula for happiness. Happiness equals reality minus expectations. If you expect your vacation to be a Disney movie, a delayed flight ruins everything. If you expect the flight to be delayed, the luggage to be lost, and the food to be terrible, and then the plane actually arrives on time, you are ecstatic. You are thrilled. Pessimism lowers the bar of expectation so that reality can constantly pleasantly surprise you. The pessimist is rarely disappointed and often delighted. Anxiety thrives on the unknown. What if I lose my job? What if she leaves me? Optimism says, don't think about that. Pessimism says, okay, let's think about that. Let's really go there. If you lose your job, what happens? You cut expenses. You use savings. You move in with your parents. You find a new job. It will be hard, but you will not die. By simulating the disaster, you realize it is survivable. You kill the fear by shining a light on it.
Positive thinkers take things for granted because they assume good things will last forever. The pessimist knows that everything is temporary. Entropy is the law of the universe. Relationships end. Health fades. People die. Because the pessimist is painfully aware of this, they value the present moment more intensely. They hug their partner tighter because they know it won't last forever. Paradoxically, focusing on loss makes you appreciate what you have. Think of defensive pessimism as a safety net. When you have visualized the worst-case scenario and created a plan B, you can take bigger risks. Why? Because you are not afraid of falling anymore. You know exactly what hitting the ground feels like, and you have a plan for it. Optimists often play it safe because subconsciously, they are terrified that if things go wrong, they won't know how to handle it. The pessimist dares to jump. Optimism imposes a tyranny of should. I should be happy. My life should be better. This creates a constant gap between where you are and where you think you should be. Pessimism accepts things as they are. My job is boring right now. Okay, that is a fact. It's not a tragedy, it's just reality. When you stop demanding that reality bends to your wishes, you suffer less. Acceptance is the ultimate painkiller. True confidence doesn't come from telling yourself, I am the best. True confidence comes from knowing, I can handle the worst. If you go into a job interview thinking, I will definitely get this job, you are fragile. If you go in thinking, even if I blow this interview, I will be okay, you are unbreakable. You are relaxed, you are authentic, and ironically, that makes you more likely to get the job. Pessimism removes the pressure to be perfect. Murphy's Law states, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. The optimist fights this law. The pessimist embraces it. When you embrace Murphy's Law, life becomes a comedy instead of a tragedy. When it rains on your picnic, the optimist cries. The pessimist laughs and says, of course it rained. I brought an umbrella just in case. Humor is a coping mechanism found in the gap between expectation and reality. The pessimist gets the last laugh. We are redefining hope. Optimism is passive hope. Sitting back and waiting for the universe to deliver. Defensive pessimism leads to active hope. You see the obstacles, you see the pain, you acknowledge the low odds, but you move forward anyway. That is courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is acting in spite of it. You don't need to believe everything will be easy to keep going. You just need to know you can endure the hard parts. So, are you ready to stop lying to yourself? Here is your challenge for the next 24 hours. I want you to perform a negative visualization. Take one thing you are terrified of losing, your job, your partner, your health. Close your eyes and imagine it is gone, truly gone. Sit with that discomfort. Feel the panic. Don't push it away. And then, make a plan. What is your first step? What is step 2? Once you have a plan, open your eyes. Notice how the colors look a bit brighter? Notice how you want to hug that person a bit tighter? That is the gift of pessimism. It wakes you up. Stop trying to be happy. Start being prepared. If you've watched this far, we've unlocked some doors in your mind. But I have to warn you, the real confrontation happens in the next video. Think about your current relationship, or the person you cry over saying, I can't live without them. I'm going to ask you a very uncomfortable question. Do you actually love them? Or are you just running away from the terrifying silence in your own house? In the next video, I'm going to prove that the emotion you call love is often just a biological lie your brain invented to avoid being alone. If you have the courage to shatter your romantic illusions and wake up to true freedom, turn on your notifications now. Because after that video, the phrase, I love you, will never mean the same thing again. See you there.